And today I'm answering this question, which is, will my baby grow out of the reflux? Or indeed, will your baby grow out of the reflux? Mine eventually did. But the truth is, we don't need to wait. You see, children don't actually grow out of reflux. What happens is they discover and create and find ways to compensate for what's going on. If a baby has reflux because of cow's milk protein allergy, then they will suffer with that. Hopefully, we'll figure out what's going on, we'll change their milk, and they'll carry on. However, for children who have allergies or intolerances, it's because their digestive system isn't yet equipped to break down the proteins in those milks or to break down the carbohydrates sufficiently. So their body keeps being irritated and agitated. And as they grow older, their digestive system will naturally mature. And eventually they will mature so that they no longer have these digestive complaints, that they no longer have protein issues, that they no longer have an allergy response to these milks. Let me know if this makes sense. So essentially, they will grow out of their reflux. For children, for example, who have reflux caused by underlying stress and tension and heightened adrenals and heightened cortisol and heightened awareness and being in their sympathetic nervous system too much, that's unlikely for them to grow out of. If we figure out that that's what's going on for them and we get them to a place where they're calmer, where they're much happier in their body, where they're content, where they're able to sleep, where they're able to relax, where when they sleep at night, their body is able to recover from what's going on in the day, then they will grow out of it. However, the challenge is with when the endocrine system is on fire for kids like that, that escalates over time. It builds up these stresses over years. They become sleep deprived, even though they might be sleeping for 12 hours a day. And by the time these kids get to the stage where they're 10, 11, 12 years old, if we haven't addressed things properly, they could get a misdiagnosis of something like ADHD or behavioral challenges, when actually they're chronically overtired. For children who have latch and oral difficulties, say a buccal tie, which is where the cheek is attached inside to the gums, or a lip tie or a tongue tie, they don't grow out of these things. These things need intervention to be released. But more than that, they need support. They need essentially like physiotherapy to overcome what's going on. There we go. Can you hear me again? Sorry. My AirPod battery just completely died. And I got muted. But for children who have like oral challenges, who might have some structural imbalances, these children might appear to grow out of their reflux by the time they're 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, 2 years, maybe even much longer. And what's happening for these is they're learning alternate mechanisms of using their body. I was one of these. I am a 40-plus-year-old version of this. Thank you, Joanna, for letting me know you can hear me again. It's quite important as I talk that you can hear. Otherwise, it's a very interesting type video. Or not so interesting. I have established ways to use my oral capability over the years with my tongue tie. It means I have to focus when I speak all the time to be articulated. Anybody who's been to any of my professionals webinars or the webinars where I just go blah for an hour and a half will know that I regularly fall over my tongue. I trip over it. I can't get the words out quick enough. Whenever I drink wine, like my husband remarked to me years ago, long before I knew what a tongue tie was, how frequently I would choke on a glass of wine or a cup of tea. That's not supposed to happen. I'm supposed to be fully in control of my swallow, but at least once a month, I will find myself choking simply because I'm not focusing on how I swallow. I should not have to think about swallowing every single time. And yet I do. I have developed coping mechanisms to overcome this, but as a result, my jaw, my chin is receded. It's not in the place where it should be. I have crooked teeth. Look, they're beautifully crooked, top and bottom, because my tongue is held to the floor of my mouth rather than sitting in the upper part of my mouth and helping my facial structures to develop over time correctly. I'm lucky that I can actually nose breathe really well. I'm really lucky. A lot of people don't get that. And these things, while it appears that your baby has grown out of their reflux, these coping mechanisms can lead to snoring, can lead to mouth breathing, which in turn leads to improper sleep and so many other potential knock-on impacts. So if you wish to leave your baby at it and wait for them to grow out of it, you absolutely can. What I want you to know is that you don't have to wait. The medical community believe that reflux is normal. Reflux isn't normal. If you took your baby's symptoms as your own, if you adopted them as your own, would you, excuse me, would you be happy going, I might grow out of it in 12 months' time? I might grow out of it. I might be okay tomorrow. I might suddenly wake up in 3 days' time and stop throwing up every drink I drink. I might suddenly, mysteriously be able to eat the same foods I've always been eating and not get a tummy ache from them. And nobody knows why this is happening. Would you be happy with those answers? Because personally, this is the question I asked myself about my child, my children, both of them. And the answer was the same. I was not happy with the answers I was getting. I needed to know why. And the thing is, when we understand why any child has reflux, colic, allergies, we can choose to support them in a way that allows them and their body to be completely reflux free sooner rather than later. I have worked with so many families who within days get such dramatic results simply by understanding what has been going on for their child, really digging into those patterns, understanding it, and then being in a position as parents to make informed decisions about what actions they're going to take and why. Okay, this is what my work as the Baby Reflux Lady is all about. Now, if you're ready to start understanding what's going on, the first place to go is with the symptoms tracker. We have a free symptoms tracker which outlines the 80 plus symptoms that you should be capturing or looking for in your child to understand what's going on. You can use that then in conjunction with a one-to-one support with the book, which is the Baby Reflux Lady Survival Guide, which you'll get in all major bookstores and online, or with our online course. The online course is the fastest way for answers because you don't need my time and you don't need to read a book. You can listen to the videos. You can sort of put the videos on while your hands are doing something else. It's the quickest way to get answers. And I promise you, it walks you through understanding the symptoms your baby actually has. How do we put them together in a pattern to understand what does that tell us about the underlying cause? And when we know the underlying cause for your child, what then is the right next step or steps to allow them to be free from reflux? Hopefully this has made sense. I'm going to be back here again on Wednesday on all these channels. If you want to share, please, if you're in Telegram, Telegram is a new experiment that I'm doing because it means you can get access. You get notifications that isn't in social media. You don't need to go into social media in order to get answers, to get the tips, to get the posts around reflux specifically. It also means you're not necessarily going to miss out because they're there in one place for you, not full of ads, not full of anything else, not full of, the dog that you wanted to see yesterday because I don't know, whatever it's doing today. I mean, fair enough. Dog videos are fabulous. Actually, I love puppy videos and I can't wait to get my own, but that's not where I'm at the moment. But yes, if you're on our email list, you'll get a link to the Telegram channel. We've sent that out already. You can, if you get onto our email list, and I will send you reminders about when we're going live. I will be scheduling them in YouTube. I'll be scheduling them in Facebook. I'll be scheduling them in Telegram. But I want to get more information out to you. And if you do want any more questions, we've got a list of about 51 questions that I'm going to answer over the next few weeks and months. If there are other questions that you would like me to answer, then please pop an email to help@thebabyrefluxlady.com and we will add them to the list. All right. Thank you very much for being here. If this has been helpful, please like, please share, please comment. And yeah, I shall see you all very soon. Bye-bye.